This is Jacqui Cooper with JCooperTravels, and I want to welcome everyone back to this episode. And for liking and subscribing, I really appreciate everyone's support. So today I have a very special guest on, but before I get to introduce her, I want to just share a little bit more about my story and how JCooperTravels started. For those that might be new to the talk show, I started this last year, and it was before COVID had hit because I'm a certified travel consultant and I love traveling around the world and exploring and meeting new people. When COVID happened, I realized that travel happens in many different ways. We travel a path both within our own personal life, within our career, our family, fitness, so spiritually. So there's a lot of different ways that we travel, not just geographically, even though the world is opening up. And in fact, I'm about to head to Portugal and I'm super excited about that. But, again, I was meeting people. I am meeting people on Alignable, LinkedIn. So many people have wonderful stories, and I'm learning more about them and the paths that they're on. And I wanted to share. So today we have a really fascinating woman on who is a business entrepreneur, but she's helping people all around the world. And I'm really excited for her to tell you more about her story because I think it will both inspire you and she might be able to assist you in your path and your journey. So welcome today. How are you doing?
Hi, Jackie. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to have you fully introduce yourself, the name of your business, because you are doing so many different things. And I want to make sure that everything that we're going to be talking today is fully covered. So I'm going to give you the floor. But before I do that, everyone, we're going to be mentioning the websites. And so don't worry if you don't have paper and pen, you'll be able to access and, be able to make connections, even if later down the road you don't have paper and pen today. So Corinna, go ahead and share more.
Thank you. So I'm Corinna Kromer. I am originally born and raised in Greece in the warm Mediterranean. So now, though, I reside in the US in Colorado, and I've been here for over 3 decades. It's been an interesting journey, just like everybody has had, their interesting journey, not to mention last year's, journey with COVID and all of that. And I truly believe that we've all been put here on this earth to help others, and that my journey is the gift to the world, because this is what I went through, how I came about the other side successfully, and now I can share that story and help others do the same thing. So how I do this is through energy medicine. So I'm a professional energy medicine healer, and I also use lucid hypnosis. I work a lot with the brain as well, with neuro-linguistic programming to access programming in the brain that's been there and that is blocking from us becoming our better self and do everything that we want in life. And right across with that, I'm also a Mediterranean lifestyle coach. Because I come from the Mediterranean and I have all that knowledge from the warm climate and the healthy lifestyle and the healthy diet and all of that, I love to mingle that with what I do and what I share with my clients, because I find it's very empowering to be able to take care of your nutrition, know what to eat, know what to cook, how to keep yourself healthy in body, in mind, and in spirit. So that about covers everything that we are. And that's why I mix it all together. It's a lot of fun.
It's like you're a gourmet cook. You take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you put it together to make a delicious meal. And the meal is actually us. So
yes, it is funny you say that, because I am actually a chef as well. And
I know.
So it's like it all fits in perfectly, right?
It does, because just like you said, our bodies are composed of energy. We don't always think about it. But I know the other day, I'm also a special educator, and I came back from school and I felt very drained, and I realized, well, you haven't been drinking any water today. You didn't have any healthy snacks, or you weren't, eating what you should be doing. Because normally when we were doing Zoom, teaching, I could have little mini meals. I could go to the refrigerator. I could, when I could listen to
Sure.
my body when it wanted to. And here I was just powering through thinking, oh, well, I can make it. I can make it. But at the end of the day, my body said, no, you used up all of your energy. Your battery is empty. You have to recharge.
Yes. And that's what I love about the body is it does communicate with us. When we listen,
Yes.
we know what to do, right?
Yes,
We have to
exactly.
get into that space where we get quiet and we're like, all right, this is hurting. Why is it hurting? Oh, I see what's going on, right? So yeah, it's fabulous. I mean, there's nothing that we can't know if we're just quiet enough during the day to be able to notice what's going on in the body, what's going on around us. Our environment is crucial in how our life is, right? If we decide to put ourselves in a chaotic environment, then that's what happens in our lives. If we choose to be around people that are calmer, then we invite that into our lives. So you're very right. It's all our choice.
It
Absolutely.
is. And like you said, it's about developing an awareness, because sometimes we're in that spin and we don't realize we're in the spin until we step out. And I do think that that COVID was a gift, because it allowed us to pause and to sort of rethink, is this the path that I want to be on? And if it is, great. But if it's not, then what are my options and choices? And, the in Alignable, which is where we connected, your title for your little page is Inspired Health, Energy, Medicine, and Coaching. And I think that really is a beautiful way of saying that there is traditional medicine, but there are alternative medicines too. And the alternative medicine is all about, like you said, the mindset. And sometimes having a coach like you can look from the outside as to what's happening, both from the inside as well as from the community area.
Right.
And that's
You're right.
really necessary. So,
That's exactly right. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
who do you help? I mean, is there like a niche of individuals, or do you help businesses? Who do you help?
Sure. Great question. Over the years, and I've been into this for over 2 decades now, specifically doing this type of work, it has been traditionally mostly women that have been attracted to my business. I get referrals all the time. I don't go out and look for many people. It's just who comes to me. And I love working with women, and I love working with women who have been through some kind of trauma, because I understand the importance and the change that trauma brings in our lives and how much it can put the brakes on into creating the life that we want. And I am so passionate about helping women, step into their power and say, all right, let's switch this around. Let's look at it from the other way. What can we pull out, just like COVID? What positive message can we get out of everything that went on in the past life, and use this as fuel to boost forward and create a successful, fulfilling, and joyful life? And that's what my joy is, right? Is to help these women just see it from a different perspective and give them all the tools that they need. So most of my programs run about 12 weeks long, because in about 3 months is a good time when you start changing your habits and the way of thinking, right? So it takes 3 months of being together weekly to say, okay, yeah, we want this. Well, maybe we don't want this. Does this support you, or does that not support you? And change that frame of thinking, right? And what's so amazing about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and lucid hypnosis, which is the other thing that I've created over the years, is that it's such a faster way of addressing the source of the issue, as opposed to having to go through 10, 20 years of therapy, right? It really gets to the point really quick, and then we know what we're working with, and we're able to change things. And
Yeah.
that's fascinating. You don't have to wait 3 months or however long to make something different happen, right? And change your life around.
I definitely appreciate what you're doing, because we all have little mini traumas that we've experienced throughout our life. And then
Right.
sometimes, depending upon how resilient we are, sometimes we can work through that and navigate, and sometimes we need the help of someone else. And I think that we've also last year taught us that it's okay to say that we're burnt out, or it's okay to say we need help from someone else. I think that that's given us the freedom to think about how do we create that balance in our own life. And as women, a lot of times we're helping someone else. So we don't always put ourselves first.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So, again, it's just like when I travel, they say, you put your oxygen mask on first before you help your child. You've got to take care of yourself, because if you don't, you can't take care of someone else.
Yes.
So, the food side, I love food.
Oh,
How did you integrate that?
Well, food is so instrumental in our lives, especially being Mediterranean. We grew up around the kitchen. We're always around the kitchen. It's always about creation, and creation comes from the gut, comes from the lower abdomen, right?
Yeah.
And being able to have that sacrum area open and being able to facilitate the exchange of information from what we feel like to what comes onto a plate is a phenomenal way of just being in sync with life. And not only does it nourish you because you get to express yourself, but you also nourishes your family, right? Because you're cooking for them. Potentially, if you work in a kitchen, my husband and I are both chefs, so we teach a lot of cooking classes, so we get to nourish other people through that. And we just love it because it's an expression of who we are. It's an expression also of all the wisdom that comes from the Greek sages, so to speak, right? Of what to eat, when to eat, how to cook. Cooking being in a happy state is very important in the outcome of your food, for example, right? If you're in a grumpy mood or you just had your argument and you try to cook something, it just doesn't come out right, and it doesn't taste the same. So we have learned to put ourselves in a good place before we even start cooking most of the time. Or sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm not in the space. Can you take over tonight?
Or maybe that's when you order in.
Yes, yes. Well, the problem is we're so picky because we both, cooks, and there's not much we can order in and be satisfied in that
That's
sense.
true.
We're just very specific about using what's grown out in nature. We have our own vegetable garden. Everything is organic. We try to use the best ingredients because we know that the better fuel that we put into this body, the better mileage we're going to get out, right?
Yeah.
And not only does it affect our physical body, but it affects our emotions. And that's where it ties in with energy medicine. I can use both of those to help somebody feel better. I can, influence them with, teaching them about all the possibilities that the body has and what to do at home to follow through in a nice, clean, habitual cooking, which doesn't have to be very complicated, just simple things, right? But how to use the rainbow, how to eat different colors, how to eat fresh fruits and vegetables. These are all big things. And in a society that has so much fast food in its, immediate, for its immediate satisfaction, it's very hard for a lot of people to go that way because it's cheaper, it's faster, it's easier. Some people work 2 jobs. They don't necessarily feel like they have the time to do that, but there's ways to definitely do that, even if it means that you cook a big meal and put it in the fridge or put it in the freezer, right? Anything to keep yourself in a good place. Because guess what? If you're not going to take care of yourself, nobody else is. It is up to us.
Well, and then the other thing that you and I've talked about off camera is that when a lot of what we eat contributes down the road to some of the health or illness that we experience. And so if we can think now about what we might need later, then that means that we are preventing an outcome that maybe we could have had, an impact on. And we've also talked about the fact that one of my side areas that I'm exploring is the collagen side. I have, and I'll put the link in for people to explore. I didn't realize how my body might have been deficient in collagen until I started taking the collagen elixir. And then I saw my nails had an improvement, my skin, my hair.
Right.
I mean, it's like sometimes we don't know what our body's lacking until we start to supplement, whether it's through, like, as you said, the whole food, the organic, or through certain supplements that might be more nutritional. So how do you determine what someone needs? I know there must be a process. How do you determine that?
There is a process. I have a whole protocol first to check in on the energetic body and see how each section of the body is doing, and also how they're doing physically, how they're doing emotionally, how they're doing spiritually. One of the biggest things that I rely on is to know that an alkaline body is a body that is very resilient to disease, right?
Interesting.
So yes, and that also is that the more alkaline our body, the better conductor of electricity we are. And since we are electrical bodies, we need to be very careful in what we put in our system and what we don't put in our system, right? How much water we drink, how much food we eat, when we eat, all of those things are super important.
Yeah.
I was actually trained in Ayurveda a
I,
long time
I was
ago.
thinking about that when you were talking
Yes,
about that.
because the body has certain times. There's a body clock, and it's important to eat certain times and to allow digestion for that rest of the time, and to not drink water and kind of, quench the fire that's going on in your tummy to digest all that food. And there's so much information there. So that protocol actually begins with taking an original scan, so to speak, of the body and of the emotions. And from then on, we move to figure out what the best approach is. Because some people need more energy medicine, some people need a lot of help in coaching in the sense of learning certain simple things to take care of themselves. And with some people, we might have to work on deeper trauma that is actually blocking their energy from moving through the body. And because of that, it's like you're doing so much work, but you're not getting anywhere, right? Until you restore that flow.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Are you able to do this over Zoom, or do you have to always be in person?
I do it over Zoom. My clients are all over the world, so it doesn't matter where you are. You can just get in your comfortable space and just be quiet and listen to my voice, and I guide you through everything. Some people choose to do it over the phone, and that's fine too. So you don't have to have video, it's simple. I've been doing this for over 10 years pre-COVID. We didn't have Zoom back there, but we still managed.
Yes, it's true. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, so we also exchange a lot of information through email. You get a lot of handouts. So there's a bit of, a handful of information that you will receive that you can help yourself at home as well.
I think that's really important. You mentioned that you are writing or have written a cookbook.
I have written a cookbook, yes.
Congratulations. What is the topic on?
It is Mediterranean cuisine. It's called the Mediterranean Infused Cookbook and Memoir, Seasonal and Allergen-Free Cooking, which is another thing, is like, because of our family's history with allergies, the cookbook actually is adaptable to gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free recipes.
Awesome.
And that's a big thing with Mediterranean, because everything has dairy almost in Mediterranean. And we love our bread. So I had to find over the years, ways to still eat my favorite foods, but not, be sick afterwards.
Yes.
So I created a lot of newer recipes that allow for that. And it's been phenomenal. Yeah, each one of us is different here. We have gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, you name it.
I love that, because my daughter is vegan. I'm vegetarian. So, and again, we navigated that way because of some of the sensitivities that she's had. And I thought that it's just as easy for me to kind of go that route, because I want to support her, and it's healthier for me anyway. So all of those links will be below, but share the main link that you would like everyone to be able to connect with you on. What would you like them to connect with you on?
So healthawarenesscoach.com is my website. Under that, you will find everything about energy medicine, about lucid hypnosis, NLP, and cooking. So all of that information is there. Under Facebook, I also have under Corinna Kromer, or Inspired Health Energy Medicine, or Karma Cook, which is our cooking company.
I love it. I love it.
So yeah, there's a lot of information. We're on Instagram too. I'm really a little shady about social media. I try my best. I'm not on there often, but if you send me a message, I'm sure I'll get it.
It's okay. It's all right. So everyone, all the links will definitely be on the podcast block below. And if you're watching on the YouTube side, they'll be embedded in there as well. Any last minute thoughts that you have that, I one of the things that's new actually that I like to do is one tip, one place. So is there one place that you would suggest that someone that might be traveling or might want to visit? I know you've gone around the world. Where would you want them to kind of maybe explore?
Well, I am a little partial to Greece, I would say.
And that's a beautiful place. So where in Greece? Greece is kind of large. Where?
Oh my gosh, we have over 400 islands and they're all so very different. And it depends on what you like, because some will look like Thailand's island, others would look like California. The mainland has so many ruins and beautiful history. You can't go wrong there, right?
Yeah,
And the islands are, if you're going to visit over the summer, that's usually the place to go, some island, close or far. I mean, they're as far away as 12 hours by boat. So there's a lot of choice there. The cooking is phenomenal. The people are really nice. Just about everybody speaks English. You can't go wrong,
no, you can't.
Um,
I agree
yeah,
with you. And what's one tip that you might, because it's one tip, one place. What's one tip you might give to someone?
I'm glad you asked that. My favorite tip in the world is take 10. When you're scheduling yourself, especially as a mom, as a wife, as a woman, put 10 minutes break in between your appointments, because we tend to like multitask like crazy, right?
Yeah,
Oh, I have 5 minutes. Let me throw the clothes in the washing machine. No, don't. Take 10 minutes, breathe, enjoy a fresh glass of water, take a few minutes to settle down and center. It will make all the difference in the world in your life.
you're right, for sure. So everyone, I've loved chatting with you today. I look forward to having future episodes, maybe talking about a different meal that you're creating. Everyone, definitely look at the links below. Reach out, because again, we all have a need for a coach and an energy coach and someone who has such vision and knowledge. It can definitely help all of us at this time. So thank you so much for being on. I look forward to our future conversations.
Thank you, Jackie, so much. That was amazing. Appreciate it.
Anytime.